My name is Intidar Umri and I am Tunisian, and this is a good time to be a Tunisian. 2 weeks before the President Zine Abidine Ben Ali was ousted, my friend took a picture of this wall in his university campus. Vive la liberté. We who stood bravely in the face of oppression are the sons and daughters of an old generation of revolutionaries. My grandfather was a revolutionary who stood bravely in the face of oppression. On August 1st, 1950, my grandfather Ahmed Boudaya was conscripted to join the French army when he was 20 years old. Le livret militaire indicates that he is an appelé, and it means a conscripted soldier, that he is armé de la classe de la mobilisation of 1950, which means to be fully prepared for military service. Tunisia in 1950 is still a French protectorate, not a sovereign state. According to this document, my grandfather's profession before military was a cultivator, a farmer. However, my grandmother told me that he had quit that and started working for a French gas factory before the military called him up. The military booklet describes in French that my grandfather is a young soldier in the 1950 class, and he is recognized to be the main supporter of his own family and was honorably discharged to go back to his hometown, Bizerte. He was in the French army from 1950 to 1951. After he came back to Tunisia, he worked in the factory again because he needed to support his growing family of 7 children, which included my grandmother and my mother. Although my grandfather joined so involuntarily the French military, a sense of patriotism for his country and his hometown developed in him and continued after he was discharged. 4 years before joining the French army, at the age of 16, he had joined the Tunisian Socialist Party and continued to attend their secret meetings after he was discharged honorably from the French military. The division of the Socialist Desturi Party issued a certificate acknowledging his financial contribution for the greater good of the country since 1946. He wanted to join the Tunisian army, but he couldn't because Habib Bourguiba restricted the military to Tunisians who had no political affiliation. After 5 years, in 1956, my grandfather acquired this membership card of Tunisian Federation of Veterans and Former Military, which only recognized him as a veteran and didn't provide him with any benefits. He felt that his patriotism was too strong to be just limited to ink and paper, and he needed to do more for his hometown. So he joined a lot of organizations, despite the long hours in the factory every day. A Tunisian Labour Union Party membership card indicates that his profession was listed as a manœuvre labor in 1955. A Tunisian Liberal Destour Party membership card indicates that he was a member from 1955 to 1958. My grandfather's Liberal Socialist Tunisian Party membership card shows that he was a member from 1966 to 1979. The different political membership cards indicate that my father was a member in multiple parties at the same time. I believe that my grandfather saw all these political parties as one unity because they all defended one country, Tunisia. He joined all of them because he was willing to do whatever he can, from giving away his monthly, humble salary to committing risky smuggling of arms. My grandfather wasn't just present in those meetings, he was a faithful soldier to his cause. He supported the Tunisian Byzantine liberation movement. The leader Tahir al-Aswad of this movement wrote a letter by his own handwriting acknowledging my grandfather's reliability and effectiveness. Al-Aswad affirms that my grandfather contacted his group upon their arrival in Bizerte in 1954 and supplied them with 2 army rifles, a machine gun, 300 bullets, shoes and clothes that were worth 50,000 francs, and he also brought them 30,000 francs cash. They also appointed him to work inside the residence area to support the revolution, and he was in constant contact with him. France saw my hometown as an important geopolitical base. Bizerte was a German naval base in World War II in 1943, and it was heavily bombed by the Allies. Tunisia acquired independence in 1958, but on a condition that France will not give in Bizerte and that Bizerte should remain a French protectorate until France decided the evacuation of the French naval base. From 1958 to 1963, Bizerte was experiencing popular manifestation and violent confrontations with the French army. My grandfather was one of the Tunisian volunteers who fought next to the Tunisian army. He was a prominent member of multiple political parties during that time, and he had several certificates certifying his loyalty, but he never received any official recognition from the government, and the reason could be his controversial 1 year in the French army. Despite the several letters and certificates, Bizerte certifies my grandfather's patriotism better than any of the governmental stamps. He went to its elementary school. He worked in its factory. He fought and hid in its allies. He guarded the trenches with the Tunisian army against the French in the famous Battle of Bizerte in 1961. Bizerte wasn't my grandfather's birth city, but it was where he asked to be buried. Military life takes you away from your family, but at the same time, it makes you closer. It's a noble job to fight as soldiers for the greater good of the country, whether the government acknowledges you officially or not. Government doesn't give birth to patriotism, but the people do. People from all walks of life stand in unity to protect the homeland, even though the government would underestimate the sacrifices of these individuals. My history book mentions all these eloquent individuals who indeed mobilize a sense of patriotism, but it's the common people and the common man who are the true noble soldiers who fought by action and by tongue. And I say this because these people represent the common people in my hometown, Bizerte. We have just seen this in Tunisia, Egypt, Yemen, Libya, and soon other nations where common people risk their lives in order to end the abuses of their dignity and freedom. My father, who is a military officer in the Qatari military, was sent a week ago to Djibouti to join UN troops in order to ensure security of the people there. My family history influenced my perspective on life to make sacrifices and live for others rather than to live for myself. Also to live with integrity and honor my family name. My grandfather taught me that a silent legacy, patriotism, is inherited and doesn't need to be displayed with governmental stamps. My family is living in Qatar, and after I graduated from Bizerte, I moved to Qatar because I wanted to stay with my father. And that is how I heard about Georgetown School of Foreign Service in Qatar. The undergraduate research experience program titled Qatar at Crossroads, sponsored by QNRF, made me trace military from my father to my grandfather. Military in my family was an important geographical determinant of a lot of decisions that my family took. Thank you for watching my draft. Great thanks to the GURT organizers for this honorable invitation. Special thanks to my professor Patricia O'Connor, who supported me enormously and welcomed me into her lovely family, lovely house, and her comfortable couch. Thanks to Virginia Jones, SFSQ staff, my professor Fatra Claude, SFSQ faculty, and my classmate Bushra Baby, SFSQ student.